equitable distribution of wealth in the society. However, Dauda report that the distribution of items such as which was in partnership with the King Salman Humanitarian and Relief Center took place at the Government House Banquet Hall in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Her report.
The Kwara State Banquet Hall today was filled to capacity as Abibakri Asidik Philanthropic Home extended charity to needy in efforts to help the less privileged in the society. In her remarks, the State Commissioner for Social Development, Dr. Mariam Imam, said the foundation has not only brought hope to the beneficiaries but also dignity, adding that government alone cannot address social challenges. She reaffirmed government commitments to well-being of citizens, urging well-meaning Nigerians to emulate such acts.
Abubakar Siddiq Philanthropic Home has demonstrated this teaching through practical action. By equipping these children with vocational skills, you are helping them to become self-reliant, productive members of the society, and contributors of economic development rather than dependent.
The project manager of the organization, Farid Abdulrazak Salman, said the organization focus is to prioritize the welfare, education, and empowerment of vulnerable children in the society. He expressed optimism that the project will inspire other individuals, organizations, and stakeholders to emulate the spirit of giving by investing in humanity and uplifting the most vulnerable in the society.
We have children that are neglected and forgotten on the street, or just because they've lost the parent, then they have no one responsible for them. It causes them to lose the mental stability they need to function as normal citizens and normal individuals.
Also speaking with Kwara TV News, the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer, Bayo Kozi-Mujiusi, said beneficiaries were chosen based on merit, urging them to be a good ambassador of the foundation.
Being without a guide is more or less like whoever comes first, whether good or bad. If bad people come now, they follow them, because these children also lack the basic means of livelihood.
For the beneficiaries, they commended the convener of the event, saying that the skill learned would go a long way in improving their well-being.
It's of a great nutritional value for our children, and it really goes a long way.
Financially, it's a little bit challenging before I joined the program. But alhamdulillah, the relief they gave us is enormous.
Highlights of the event include distribution of certificates as well as equipment such as sewing machines, tricycle, foodstuffs, cooking gas and cylinders, among others, for over 100 graduates who had undergone training for about 8 months in various skills. The foundation also distributed food items to selected orphanage homes across the state. Hawa Dauda, Kwara TV News.
A total of 95 princes and princesses of the Fusegbuwa ruling house have shown interest in the Awujale of Ijebuland. The development was disclosed by the Olori Ebi of Fusegbuwa ruling house, Latif Owoyemi, also known as Otumba Jadiara, at the commencement of a nomination meeting held at BC Rodipe Hall, GRA Ijebuland. All the leaders of the ruling house who were present at the meeting include Deputy Olori Ebi Otumba Ajidagba, Chairman Chief Fasif Yusuf, amongst others. Otumba Owoyemi disclosed at the meeting that the names of those who scaled the first hurdle will be forwarded to the Afobajes. Owoyemi noted that the Afobajes will select one of the candidates as the next Awujale and forward his name to the Ogun State government. He stated that those in disagreement with the exercise can channel their grievances to the state government.
Still in the southwestern part of Nigeria, 1 week after the Ondo State judicial officers declared an indefinite strike action, court operations across the state remained shut. It will be recalled that the magistrate, president of Grade A Customary Court and legal research officers commenced indefinite strike on January 5 over the inability of the state government to grant the judiciary legal autonomy, lack of attention to the plight of workers. Members of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, also joined the industrial action on January 6, demanding improved welfare conditions. Some reporters who visited the court on Monday observed that the facilities were still under lock and key. A top officer who spoke with the reporters anonymously accused the Commissioner of Finance, Mrs. Omawumi Isaac, of allegedly undermining Governor Aiyedatiwa's directives on welfare and financial support for the judiciary.
Now from Rivers, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has opened its online media accreditation portal for the upcoming Rivers State by-elections in Awada East 2 and Kana 2 constituencies. The election is scheduled for February 21st, 2026. INEC announced it via its official X handle that interested media organizations are required to apply through the portal online. The commission stated that the accreditation portal will close on February 8, 2026, stressing that late application will not be considered. And from that, we'll take our first break. News at 8 continues shortly. Do stay tuned.
So, we went to Ilorin to document the impact of El-Press on livestock farming. What we found was bigger than productivity, resilience, livelihoods, and jobs.
Over decades, lack of development has been neglected.
This is the story behind the numbers.
Ruwan da mutane ma suke sha ya zama mana mai wuya, balle shanunmu.
Duk yan uwanmu na gefe-gefe ba ruwa, kowa yana kuka.
Bari amfani malu to bela duguma.
I don't know whether you are aware of the agricultural transformation plan, and it was designed to ensure that not only do we develop the crop aspect of agri, but importantly, the livestock section of it.
Because the purpose of El-Press, the objectives are to increase the productivity and make livestock commercial and imbibe resilience in the system.
We really change our lives.
Oúnjẹ ti délẹ̀ o.
Ó dára fún jollof rice, spaghetti, ọbẹ̀ ata àti àsáró sí àsè tó gbàyè.
We are still on Kwara TV News. The North Central or Progressives Congress APC Forum has opposed calls for the resignation of Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike. The forum also kicked against calls on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to sack the minister. National Secretary of the APC, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, recently asked Wike to resign his appointment as minister to concentrate on his obsession with politics of Rivers State. Bashiru made the statement after Wike warned him against dabbling in the political affairs of Rivers State, where the FCT minister is engaged in political battle with Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Some Nigerians who feel displeased with Wike's activities in Rivers State have also urged President Tinubu to sack him as FCT minister or redeploy him to another ministry. The Joe National Congress INC West African chapter had urged Tinubu to redeploy Wike to the Ministry of Niger Delta. The forum noted that since Wike became Minister of FCT, the pace of development in the territory has improved with the execution of key infrastructure projects, which under his watch, the APC firm stressed that it has no interest in the political crisis in Rivers State, as according to it, its only concern was the development of the FCT and by extension, the North Central.
And from Plateau State, a former governor of Plateau State, John Ajang, has dismissed media reports circulating alleging that he called on former Governor Caleb called on Governor Caleb Mutfwang to resign following his defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressive Congress, APC. In a statement issued on Monday and signed by his media consultant, Clinton Garuba, Senator Yang described the report as misleading and taken out of context. He clarified at no point during a PDP stakeholders meeting held last week did he demand the governor's resignation. Rather, his comment criticized the trend of politicians defecting from one party to the other. Senator Yang also urged Plateau's residents to disregard the report and continue supporting Governor Mutfwang, who governs with a legitimate mandate given to him by the people of the state.
Crossing to Kano State, where security is currently tight at the Kano State Government House following speculations of Governor Abba Yusuf's defection from the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, to All Progressives Congress, APC. Report says that at the entrance, combined security personnel drawn from the Nigeria Police Force and the Department of State Services, DSS, were stationed at strategic locations. Security checks were also intensified with access and strict identification procedures by operatives. The heightened tensions is said to have coincided with growing speculation about a disagreement between Governor Yusuf and his political mentor, Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso, a national leader of the NNPP, has strongly opposed Yusuf's alleged plan to defect to the APC. He reportedly warned that such a move would destabilize the NNPP and undermine the Kwankwasia movement.
Moving on to Jigawa State, it said the Jigawa State government has commenced distribution of pregnancy kits to women across the state in order to reduce maternal and infant mortality. Speaking during the distribution of the maternity kits on Monday at Sule Tankata local government area of the state, the First Lady of Jigawa State, Adiza Namadi, said Governor Umar Namadi approved the distribution to provide essential healthcare support to pregnant women. Namadi commended the chairman of the Sule Dankaka local government, Tasiu Adamu, for building a basic healthcare center in Sule Tankaka and naming it after the governor. She also called on the healthcare providers to ensure the delivery of quality care to pregnant women and reiterated that the state government is committed to ensuring zero maternal mortality across Jigawa's 27 local government areas. In his address, the Emir of Gumel, Dr. Ahmed Muhammad Sani, represented by the district head of Jeke, Muhammad Sani Ibrahim, urged all beneficiaries to make good use of the kits.
You're still with us on Kwara TV News. We're going another time out. When we return, we have business, sport, among other news reports for you. Please stay with us. We're glad you're still there. Troops of the Nigerian Army's 13th Brigade have rescued 18 passengers, including 2 infants, following a boat hijacking incident along the Nigeria-Cameroon waterways. The incident occurred on January 11, 2026, when suspected sea pirates hijacked a passenger boat operating along the Kombo fishing port axis within Cameroonian waters. The attackers, reportedly operating 2 speedboats and a wooden boat, abducted passengers who were traveling between Cameroon and Nigeria. This was confirmed in a statement signed and released by the Brigade Assistant Director of Public Relations, Major Yemi Sokoya, and shared on Army's X page on Monday. The commander of 13th Brigade, Brigadier General P.O. Alimkena, commended the troops for their prompt and professional response. He urged members of the public to provide useful information to assist security forces in tackling criminal activities across River State, stressing that community cooperation was vital to sustaining security.
And on electricity, the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, has blamed technical fault for the power outages in some parts of Abuja. This was disclosed in a meeting on Monday. AEDC said the outage affected areas such as Flower Gate Estate, Akpo Mechanic Village, Wumba Village, Waru Village, Supercell Estate, EFAB Estate, All the Sahara Homes, IPEN 3, 4, and 5, and Basic Estate. Also, Unzube Estate, Kopa Gabana Estate, Vision Court Estate, Kabusa Village, Dogogada Village, Living Faith Church, Peace Court Estate, Sunshine Homes, Fafu Homes, Pentval Estate, FRSC Estate, Pigba Kasa and Pigba Sama villages were affected by the blackout. AEDC stated that technical team is working tirelessly to restore power supply as quickly as possible.
Now to the world of sport. The Super Eagles of Nigeria again shines at the ongoing African Cup of Nations 2025, currently ongoing in Morocco, by defeating Algeria by 2-0. Kwara TV News spoke with football lovers in Ilorin who expressed their excitement on the qualification of Nigeria to the semi-final of the competition. The report.
Nigeria have now settled the scores with Algeria of their last encounter at 2019 African Cup of Nations semi-final, where Algeria defeated Nigeria 2-1. Nigeria put in a commanding performance as they beat Algeria 2-0 of the quarterfinals on Saturday, January 10th. Victor Osimhen scored a fantastic flying header from Bruno Oyemachi's cross in the 47th minute of the game. 10 minutes after the first goal, Hako Adams dribbled past the Algerian goalkeeper to score the winning goal of the game. Some football fans who spoke to Kwara TV News in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, were thrilled about the Super Eagles' performance. They said they were worried before the game because of the misunderstanding between Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen.
I was a little bit scared before the game, considering the fact that Osimhen and Lookman had a misunderstanding during the match. But, watching the match, I felt so good, and I'm happy that the Super Eagles of Nigeria, defeated Algeria to go to the next stage of the tournament. And I'm very optimistic about the Super Eagle. I know it will be a very hard game, but by the special grace of God, we will defeat Morocco in the semi-final of the game.
And I'm actually excited. We are sad that we couldn't make the World Cup, but I believe if FIFA can actually have whatever it is to do, they definitely want Nigeria to be at the World Cup as one of the teams representing Africa. But I'm excited like all Nigerians, and everybody's actually coming out now, despite the fact that when the Nations Cup is starting, many people did not pay attention to the, but after the first game, the second game, then many people believe that, okay, this is a team that actually has something to prove, and which they've actually proved.
Despite the fact that Morocco is the hosting nation, we definitely show them that we are the Eagles, we are the Super Eagles, and we are going to fly high in that encounter. So I was so happy when Nigeria won that match with Algeria, and I'm very optimistic that we are going to do the same. There's going to be a replica of what we did during Algeria.
Nigeria will play semi-final of the competition against the host Morocco on Wednesday, 14th January 2026.
And from Uganda, Ugandan opposition candidate Bobby Wine brought his presidential campaign to the Kampala slum where he grew up ahead of Thursday's election. Wine is challenging incumbent Yoweri Museveni for a second time. In 2021, it took 30% of the vote compared to Museveni's 58%, establishing Wine as a serious contender for the power. The 43-year-old singer turned politician has strong followers among working-class people in the urban areas, but his rallies have seen violent crackdowns by security forces using tear gas and beating against his supporters. Museveni has been in office since 1986, while term and age limit have been scrapped to allow him to run for a 7th time. Wine, the most prominent of 7 opposition candidates, has urged supporters to show courage before the security forces, although he has not called outright for protests. He said he wants his supporters to cast protest votes in large numbers against Museveni's party on election day. The general election, which is slated for January 15, will elect the president and the parliament.
And that is the news from Anna and myself as well. We'll be going to Kolojia Yahya for the news in Nupe language. Hello, Kolo.
Kamil.
Thank you.
Yakube Lonzo nibe stukwe wala bari na ji midena. Gwamnati fiti be toye mapa. Nya mamkata lege na yiga asu na agani kede edufe adabo eti alikawali woroji na laye burulu ben ya makata lege to na nga shishi jina na tiani mi wosika na tia dagwata dubaji ya eka pipewa na hefo la defe wosika nchi latu lake ekayonchi yina akeje ekaya TED fund kata ekaye nya TED fund na chi maitama ejvonya akujo bana dubaji ya gola pipewa maruf alausa to dubaji ya eka pipewa tintachin Subaiba Hamed Ashiti Ebefena Bichipe Uchi Beje Suma Fugu Beguni na Emegun Asu de ya gwamnati fitike hada etun ya chichunchi ye na be awaba a ya chi zumana Emegun Asu be gwamnati fiti de fedu nya eza yeshi tibana alikawali wurin ta gwamnati ga wugwa na san kokari na de aiji eti mopabe gwala na ji egato hazo alamari ji de kin abu be edufe ezabena dubaji ya ekakiwa ga alikawali uchi ajidede be shiri nufi wuro na tishi Bola Ahmed Tinubu de bebe na de je da pipewa to shirin doci na ji ala yegboro bin yakin abu to yegboro egiza wangi to ebanje eti woche samumbon ekandoci na jinya gwamnati na yiga Abubakar As-Sadiq Philanthropic Home daga kaya janiya lo eza na ji lo shitwaba be guwana ete kokari na de aga dukiya de ya ejina awa dauda da ekayoncho ma wuya kede giga kaya unchi ibe emopa gwalandoche na yiga King Salman Humanitarian and Relief Center de ije ta ikanye eme gwamnati na ci ilori abu na yi eduta kin kwara nan baza luya kede kata ekayen chiko kin kwara ina a shebiya bina eka Abubakar As-Sadiq Philanthropic Home begwa wuce ya eza gwagbaji eti kokiri na de wata temako ya jejide wake degi ya ejona na mfe bazana commissioner ya ekane laida yegboro lo mauna lekta Mariam Imam nga county uji na de wala nufi ya jejige amfani ci je wuro ko ina amma to nan wa biya ciwona ga gwamnati buge juwa ite ezo na jide e dugba fijina ya gaskiya kide gwamnati da ji kokari loye ete ne de alai jili wangi be ya za wangi na hunci wa be za wangi je kin Nigeria na jide e gwaye kufuna na asan e kaunchu to de lotuna na mutofe barana tishi ya kongila e kayonci Farid Abdul Razak Salman nga e kayonci de jeda e yawaci pipewa to e paso ya e za gwagwa gije e jo totocho e gi wawa gije bazalo e kede kongila onci ina alani sanbe ya zawangije e tumbaje to gwala na ji e gato na asan e tumba onci bena a lowoce eti e giza wangi to na a be yegburu ya e za gwagwa gije de e jona na utofe balabe labari kuci ya e tumba wona tishi ne lai da shiriji na kozim oji usi nga eza na jigi amfanin china yi na jide a tsalina uci wa bayana a fe dubako ya account na duba jigi amfaniya e kayon china dugwa gama ya zila shiri uci cicina a gan etun na pin dagwata account na yi eyanchiko na ma a bi jile wangi de ya na na be jibancho na yi gigan nya sati etunlo kaya
Hawa Dauda
machine edegun machine egbaguta yangi chiji to nance zaman na ila jin yangi china to yando chiji eji eza na jitiya mukata na loza shichuna hacha gata de atagwa wuce loba account ke gan yangichi ya eme kungije na ci ilori abunana eka ne laida kuliya ce kin abuna iga INEC na haga ne kede wa waya za tsohon piani ya emi labarije na jidige wa ala suna cici ya kuliya yice kin rivers na ebedan yegburu na kuliya ce mace ta yi tudabo abeje foshi benini ya etu abaci nimi eya na ifidana INEC ya minna da waya zato na yiga x na nga emi labarije na jidiga de nufi atan kuliya chonchona adada la suna chiche eti waya zato unchona eka unchen latula kede suna la chiche abe ezoba fogututa nya etwa bachi nimi eya na ifidana na makafa adabo ya jeji dada la suna chiche ano Mwachi najilo luaso tu guchuna acha atade la suna chichana emia fas sangboa naji dila nufia tula a watukun etuya a wujale nya kin ejebuna elatuna beige dagwata olori ebi nya eme fusangboa Latif owo yemi eba ekaye ya suna lachichi na be ije kata ekaye bisi lo dipe na chi Ìjẹ̀bú Òde na owo yemi yi ezana eyigan Ọ̀túnba jadihara na tishi emije na jike dan ekaye onchana yi shaba olórí ẹbí Ọ̀túnba ajidagba ndasako eza chiwachi Fasi Yusuf to eza ndochiji Ọ̀túnba Owóyẹmí de wuye ya edofe onchan kede asuna zanaji aguna de kuyekani nama agula tagwadan afọbajẹji naji ali zanaji agali na Owóyẹmí latula kede afọbajẹji de ali suna zene nimi jeji de akasuna jina na yi awujale wuro nama aga sunonci latagwa ya gwamnati ya oguna latula kede suna nagabe tuya huma ba eza na jikena na aje wadan gwamnati ya kin uci ina siyasa Progressive Congress APC gwalagiye ekpan arewa tachin de agana kede a jieda be takada etunlo petro na aga dobaji ya ejvonya Abuja yisombuke ndo kana emegunchi de ke latula kede a jieda popoyin eti enwachi ne luba Bola Ahmed Tinubu ke unka takada mula dubajunchu duchin esa na untana ubutukachi nusa ya ina siyasa APC Kenegichiko Ajibola Basiru Toshi de ganwuka kede unka takada mula epo nutanu wabuluchi dojo dan usuma na de eloye kin rivers no Basiru de latula kede la nanatula zumana wike non kede unga damedan alamorije na jide eloye kin rivers no bana wike ocho bana wike de egugbo etwaguru be gomina nata esos similar fubara nya siyasa no dokun zawanjije kin Nigeria to de la no fiance tula kede wike fayangba popoyin be shirije na jide wike bebe yin kin rivers na ma awa be tishi Bola Ahmed Tinubu nka takada unla wike tun sa de na untana kuma unla luda duba ndo chije hunfiru shiti baga emegun ejimi machije nya ijo na jidan ekpan ilozu kin pajikona wa be tishi Bola Ahmed Tinubu unla wike lada duba ne laida Niger Delta na emegun chin latula kede tungaga na wike guta dubaje nya ejivonya Abuja na hagan yegborolo debe je eti enya amfani jo tugaga nuguta mulukena mopa APC de latula kede ade egwadan usuma nya siyasa ne loye kin rivers sona ama endondo matwa eti zanaji pogun gaga akatakata ala wike achin esona kede alamori na bena de beze tachian emugun tishi nya APC be wike na eyuga ndula takaruka ndula eponuta ndluchina banamu ile labarin lo zone kana na kina da ba Olajide pa na pa ibe mi sun gina Olajide
ẹ̀kalẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí èyí ni ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ láti lè ṣe móhùnmáwòrán ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó kẹlẹ̀ sí àpáta Yakuba nílùú Ìlọrin. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí pẹ̀lú ẹgbẹ́ àwọn olùkọ́ nílé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga fásitì lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà tí a mọ̀ sí ASUU yóò forí okòó sọ̀ọ́dún lọ́jọ́rú ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí níbi tí wọn yóò ti pohùnpọ̀ lórí àwọn ohun ọ̀nì tí yóò mú ìgbélárugẹ bá ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga fásitì wa tí yóò sì mú ètò ẹ̀kọ́ kó dúró re. Èyí jẹ́ jáde nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan gba ti ọ̀dọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ètò ẹ̀kọ́ lọ́jọ́ àìkú yìí. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde ọ̀hún ni wọ́n ti fi léde pé ayẹyẹ náà yóò wáyé ní gbọ̀ngàn ìpàdé àjọ TED Fund tó wà ní Maitama nílùú Àbújá tí mínísítà fọ́rọ̀ ètò ẹ̀kọ́ yóò sì ṣe adarí rẹ̀ yìí ní Maruf Alausa tó fi mọ́ mínísítà kejì níléeṣẹ́ ọ̀hún Suweba Ahmad. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí ló wáyé lẹ́yìn gbèdéke ọjọ́ 14 tí àgbáríjọpọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ olùkọ́ yìí fún ìjọba àpapọ̀. Ẹ̀wẹ̀ wọ́n ti ṣẹ́wélé ìyanṣẹ́lódì tí wọ́n fẹ́ gùnlé kí ó tilẹ̀ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lẹ́yìn tí ẹgbẹ́ ASUU àti ìjọba àpapọ̀ ṣe ìpàdé àforúṣe kan. Inú àdéhùn titun ọ̀hún ni ìjọba ti jẹ́jẹ́ ìfarajìn sí ìbáṣepọ̀ tí yóò mú ohun rere wà pẹ̀lú àwọn alẹ́nulọ́rọ̀ tí ó ṣe gbòógì tí wọn yóò sì máa dẹ́kun gbogbo aáwọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ iṣẹ́ nípa ìfikùnlukùn àgbọ́yé tó dára àti ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀. Àjọ kan tí kìí ṣe ti ìjọba Abubakar As-Sadiq Philanthropic Home ti pín oríṣiríṣi ẹ̀bùn tó tó 100 fún àwọn tí ó jàǹfààní rẹ̀ lára akitiyan láti rí wípé ọ̀là kárí ilé kárí oko nílẹ̀ yìí. Aṣojúkọ̀rọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ wa Yàwá Dáúdà mú ààbò wá wípé ètò ẹ̀bùn pínpín ọ̀hún ló ní ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ àjọ ẹlẹ́yinjú àánú kan tí wọ́n pè ní King Salman Humanitarian and Relief Center ló wáyé nínú gbọ̀ngàn ilé ìjọba tó wà nílùú Ìlọrin tí ṣe olú ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara. Ṣé ní gbọ̀ngàn kún fọ́fọ́ lónìí níbi tí àjọ ẹlẹ́yinjú àánú Abubakar As-Sadiq Philanthropic Center ti náwó àánú sí àwọn tó nílò rẹ̀ lára akitiyan ẹ̀ láti ran àwọn tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó lọ́wọ́. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ kọmíṣánná fọ́rọ̀ ìdàgbàsókè ohun amáyédẹrùn Dr. Mariam Imam jẹ́ kí ó di mímọ̀ wípé kì í ṣe wípé àjọ òun mú ìrètí wá fún àwọn tí ó jàǹfààní ètò náà nìkan, ṣùgbọ́n ìwà ọmọlúàbí nítorí pé ìjọba nìkan kò lè ṣe ètò ìpèníjà tó bá dé bá ní. Ó tún fi kún wípé ìjọba ní ìfarajì sí ètò ìgbáyégbádùn àwọn ènìyàn rẹ̀ tí ó sì rọ àwọn tí Ọlọ́run bá ṣẹ́gi ọlá fún láwùjọ láti wo àwòkọ́ṣe yìí. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tirẹ̀ alákòóso ètò fún ẹgbẹ́ náà Farid Abdulrazak Salman sọ wípé ẹgbẹ́ òun ní àfojúsùn sí ètò ìgbáyégbádùn àwọn ènìyàn, ètò ẹ̀kọ́ àti ìgbé agbára wọ àwọn ọmọ tí kò rọ́wọ́ họrí láwùjọ wa. Ó yànnàná rẹ̀ pé ètò náà ni yóò rú àwọn ènìyàn mìíràn lọ́kàn sókè tó fi mọ́ àwọn lájọlájọ àti àwọn alẹ́nulọ́rọ̀ lójúnà àti lè ní ẹ̀mí fífúnni kí wọ́n sì tẹ́ àwọn tí kò rọ́wọ́ họrí láwùjọ lọ́rùn. Nígbà tí wọ́n bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa yìí sọ̀rọ̀, òṣìṣẹ́ tó wà lẹ́ka ètò ìtọpinpin lájọ ọ̀hún Rozim Ojiwusi jẹ́ kí ó di mọ̀ wípé ètò gbangba làṣáta ni wọ́n fi yíyan àwọn tí ó jàǹfààní ètò náà ṣe tó sì rọ̀ wọ́n láti jẹ́ aṣojú rere fún àwọn tí ó jàǹfààní ètò náà. Wọ́n gbóríyìn fún àwọn tó ṣètò ọ̀hún. Wọ́n ní gbogbo ohun tí àwọn kọ́ ni àwọn yóò lápárí nínú ìgbé ayé wọn. Ó ti tó àwọn ọmọ ọba bíi 15 báyìí tí wọ́n ti fi ìfẹ́ hàn láti di Àwùjalẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú láti ìdílé oyè Fùsẹ̀gbúwà. Olórí ẹbí ìdílé oyè Fùsẹ̀gbúwà yìí Lateef Owóyẹmí ló fọ̀rọ̀ yìí léde níbi ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ìpàdé ìfanikalẹ̀ èyí tí ó wáyé ní gbọ̀ngàn Bísí Ródìpẹ̀ lágbègbè GRA nílùú Ìjẹ̀bú Òde. Owóyẹmí ni wọ́n tún pè ní Ọ̀túnba Jadiara. Àwọn àgbà ìdílé oyè yìí tí wọ́n tún wà níbi ìpàdé ọ̀hún ni igbákejì olórí ẹbí Ọ̀túnba Ajídàgbà, alága olóyè Fásì Yusuf àti àwọn mìíràn pẹ̀lú Ọ̀túnba Owóyẹmí fi léde pé níbi ìpàdé ọ̀hún ni wọ́n ti sọ wípé orúkọ àwọn tó bá mórí bọ́ níbi ìdíje àkọ́kọ́ ni wọn yóò taari sí àwọn afọbajẹ. Lẹ́yìn ni àwọn afọbajẹ yóò wá mú ọ̀kan nínú wọn bíi Àwùjalẹ̀ tuntun tí wọn yóò sì náwó orúkọ náà sí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. Ọ̀sẹ̀ kan lẹ́yìn tí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lẹ́ka ètò ìdájọ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ti kéde ètò ìyanṣẹ́lódì aláìní gbèdéke àti àwọn iṣẹ́ ilé ẹjọ́ mìíràn gbogbo káàkiri ìpínlẹ̀ náà. Ṣé ní gbogbo àwọn ilé ẹjọ́ sì wà ní títìpa báyìí? A ó rántí pé àwọn májísírèètì, àwọn ààrẹ ilé ẹjọ́ ìbílẹ̀ onípele ha tó fi mọ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìwádìí lẹ́ka òfin bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìyanṣẹ́lódì aláìní gbèdéke lọ́jọ́ 5 oṣù kínní ọdún yìí látàrí bí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ náà ṣe kọ̀ láti fún ẹ̀ka ètò ìdájọ́ ní òmìnira ètò ìnáwó àti pé wọn kò kọbi ara sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́. Ẹgbẹ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lẹ́ka ètò ìdájọ́ tí a mọ̀ sí JUSUN náà darapọ̀ mọ́ ìyanṣẹ́lódì ọ̀hún lọ́jọ́ 6 oṣù kínní tí àwọn náà ń béèrè fún ètò ìgbáyégbádùn tó mọ́yán lórí. Àwọn akọ̀ròyìn tí ó ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí àwọn ilé ẹjọ́ lónìí yìí wòye pé títìpa ni gbogbo àwọn ilé ẹjọ́ ọ̀hún wà. Ìròyìn jẹ́ kí ó di mímọ̀ pé àìsí iṣẹ́ kankan ní àwọn ilé ẹjọ́ wọ̀nyí ló ti kó àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ lẹ́ka ètò ìdájọ́ tó kọ wọ́n lóminú tó fi mọ́ àwọn ajàfẹ́tọ̀ọ́ ọmọnìyàn tí wọ́n ṣe kìlọ̀kìlọ̀ pé títìpa tí àwọn ilé ẹjọ́ wọ̀nyí wà yóò dí ìdájọ́ òdodo lọ́wọ́ tí àwọn ènìyàn kò sì ní ìgbẹ́kẹ̀lé nínú òfin mọ́. Ní ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers lọ́hùn, àjọ tí ó ń rí sí ètò ìdìbò nílẹ̀ yìí ti ṣíde ètò lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára fáwọn akọ̀ròyìn ní ìmúrasílẹ̀ fún ètò ìdìbò tí yóò wáyé ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún ní ìlà oòrùn kejì Ahọ́àdà àti Kana kejì ní ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers. Ọjọ́ 21 oṣù kejì ọdún yìí gan-an ni ètò ìdìbò náà yóò wáyé. lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára X rẹ̀ ni àjọ INEC ti fọ̀rọ̀ yìí léde wípé ilé iṣẹ́ ìròyìn tí ó bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ láti kópa gbọ́dọ̀ fìfẹ́ hàn gba ti ẹ̀rọ ayélujára rẹ̀. Ọjọ́ kẹjọ oṣù kejì ni ètò ìforúkọsílẹ̀ náà yóò wá sópin àti pé àwọn kò ní gba ẹni tí ó bá pẹ́ kó tó fi orúkọ sílẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olóṣùṣù ọ̀wọ̀ APC láàrin gbùngbùn ìhà àríwá ilẹ̀ yìí ti tako ìpè wípé kí mínísítà fọ́lù ìlú ilẹ̀ wa Nyesom Wike ó kọ̀wé fipò lẹ̀. Bákan náà ni wọ́n tako wípé kí ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu ó dá mínísítà ọ̀hún dúró. Akọ̀wé àpapọ̀ fẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú APC Sínátọ̀ Ajíbọ́lá Bashiru ní kò pẹ́ yìí ló pe ìpè wípé kí Wike ó kọ̀wé fipò lẹ̀ bí mínísítà kò bá lè bójútó ètò òṣèlú ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers. Bashiru ló fi àtẹ̀jáde yìí léde lẹ́yìn tí Wike kì í nílò látàrí bí ó ṣe ń ṣe àyọnusọ sí ètò òṣèlú ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers níbi tí mínísítà olú ìlú ilẹ̀ wa ọ̀hún ti ń ta kàngbọ̀n òṣèlú pẹ̀lú gómìnà Siminalayi Fubara. Díẹ̀ nínú àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí tí inú wọn kò dùn sí bí Wike ṣe ń ṣe ní ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers náà ti ké sí ààrẹ Tinubu láti dá Wike dúró bí mínísítà tàbí kí wọ́n gbé e lọ sí ilé iṣẹ́ mìíràn. Àgbáríjọpọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ ìbílẹ̀ ìjọ ti ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà ti ké sí Tinubu láti gbé Wike lọ sí ilé iṣẹ́ tí ó rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ Niger Delta kí ó bá lè ṣe takuntakun bí ó ṣe ń ṣe ní olú ìlú ilẹ̀ wa l'Àbújá. Lágbọn eré ìdárayá, ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà Super Eagles tó fakọyọ níbi ìdíje bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ AFCON 2025 nípa fífàgbà hàn ilẹ̀ Algeria pẹ̀lú àmì ayò 2-0. Ikọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ wa yìí bá àwọn olólùfẹ́ eré bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá nílùú Ìlọrin sọ̀rọ̀ níbi tí wọ́n ti fi ìdùnnú wọn hàn lórí bí ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Nàìjíríà ṣe yanyọ sí abala tó kọ̀gùn sí àṣekágbá ìdíje náà. Ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ti wá gbẹ̀san lára ilẹ̀ Algeria báyìí tó ní lọ́dún 2019 ilẹ̀ Algeria dídùn dùúyà fún ikọ̀ Super Eagles pẹ̀lú àmì ayò 2-1. Ohun tí a bá bá lọ sógun làákọjú mọ́ ni orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà fọ̀rọ̀ náà ṣe nígbà tí wọ́n gbo ewúro ìyà sójú ikọ̀ Algeria lọ́jọ́ sátidé ọjọ́ 10 oṣù kínní ọdún yìí pẹ̀lú àmì ayò 2-0. Victor Osimhen ló kọ́kọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ àràmọ̀dà nígbà tí ó forí gbé bọ́ọ̀lù sínú àwọn ikọ̀ ti Algeria lẹ́yìn tí Bruno Onyemachi gbá bọ́ọ̀lù sí ní nǹkan bí ìṣẹ́jú 49. Ìṣẹ́jú 10 lẹ́yìn tí bọ́ọ̀lù àkọ́kọ́ wọlé yìí ni Akọ Adams bá tún gé asọ́lé ikọ̀ ti Algeria láti pojú ayò ọ̀hún dé ní bọ́ọ̀lù bá tún wọnú àwọn lọ. Ṣé ni inú àwọn olólùfẹ́ eré bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá nílùú Ìlọrin dùn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ látàrí àṣeyọrí ikọ̀ Super Eagles yìí. Wọ́n ní ọkàn àwọn pòrúurú ṣáájú ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ọ̀hún nítorí èdèkóyédè tí ó ti wáyé láàrin Adémọ́lá Lookman àti Victor Osimhen. Lọ́jọ́rú ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí ti ṣe ọjọ́ Wednesday ní ikọ̀ Super Eagles yóò wákò pẹ̀lú ikọ̀ ti Morocco níbi ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ tó kọ̀gùn sí àṣekágbá dídùn náà ni ìrètí wà wípé ọ̀sán ó so fún ikọ̀ Nàìjíríà lọ́jọ́ ọ̀hún níbi tí a rí ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrin ìta lẹ́yìn mọ́re Kamil.
That news in Yoruba language, and that is the news. From Anna.
We say thank you for being there for us, and we want to urge you to join us on our Facebook at Kwara TV and on YouTube. Subscribe, follow, share, and comment for more. And I want to thank the news producer has been Mudukbola Abioye, and the news director has been Mohammed Jaalapo.
Na ya fe da na sashin ya ke fila labar woro jibani isla kwa yeli.
Títí di ọ̀la tí a tún mú ìròyìn mi wá fún yín láti lè ṣe mú máwòrán ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara. Ọlájídé Ibrahim ló ti ń ròyìn. Ó dàárọ̀ ká sọ̀rọ̀ ìkájí láyọ̀ àtàlàfíà.